Who's your gardener here? Hello, YouTube. Well, I'm down in the basement, as you can see, and today I'm went out and picked some fall beans, and I'm stringing these beans for what they call leather britches. It's nothing more than a dry bean. So what I've done is I've brought them in the house. I washed them, and I'm going to I've let them dry. I went ahead and snapped them. Um, I like to leave them a little bit bigger than you normally would if you were canning them. So, because they are going to dry and shrivel up, you don't want a little bitty tiny bean that you're trying to string, poke your fingers and whatnot. So leave them a little bigger. They'll cook down when you go to cook them. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. Now you can use a thread. You can use tapestry type twine, but I have found out that fishing twine is the best. It's sometimes the moisture of the bean soaks into your cloth, depending on what you use, cloth string or twine, and you can develop some rot or some mold on your leather britches, your dried beans. Sometimes you may have half of your beans rot away. Well, doing it this way, you'll never have that issue because this is a polymer type string. And you will need to go, I went to like a Walmart or a local sewing place, and I got me a pretty heavy duty needle there. It's a pretty good sized needle. And on the other end of my fishing line, I just simply made a loop, made a little loop there, and it's pretty straightforward. Take your biggest, one of the bigger beans that you picked, makes for a good base, and simply pierce him. Try to stay in the middle and pierce him all the way through, and it's just like sewing, you know. It's easy, and man, they got a good flavor, they got a good taste. Now right here, I'll show you guys that knot, and I'm going to pull that knot through my green bean, just like that, till you get a little bit tiny loop at the end, and then I'm just going to take my needle back through that right there. I'm going to pull this guy back through. Now you don't want to pull this guy really hard because you'll actually pull your twine through your bean. But now I've got a bean that's completely pierced through and then looped around. See if I can get that loop in there. And that's going to make a good strong base to hold the rest of them. And like I said, it's an easy way to preserve beans. Get him up here on the table. I've got my pot over here, and you just start stacking them on there. Now you don't have to, leave a bunch of room between them. They'll have enough room where they'll dry out. You do want to keep them in a dry place. You don't want to put them like in a, if you got a really damp basement or something like that, you don't want to do that. Try to keep them in a dry place. Try to keep them in a dark place. Dark place works well too. If you can dry them in the sun. Don't get me wrong. You can do that. If you got a sunroom or something like that, you could put them out there and they'd be fine. Okay. What happens if you put them in the sun though is it kind of washes the color out. It kind of bleaches them out, and they won't look as pretty. So here we are. I've just got a little run of them here. Okay, as you can see, they just start stacking one on top of the other. And it'll probably take them, oh, I don't know, my guess, in the area that I'm putting them in, I'm going to say probably 3 weeks or so before they're actually good and dry. Okay, that's what they look like. So let me take you over here and you can see what they really look like here. I've got a bunch of them hung up and ready. So there they are. And what I've done there was I tried to do what works for me is I make these about the length of my arm, and that will give me enough beans for, you know, a small pot of beans for maybe 2 people. So if you know you're feeding more than that, maybe 3 people, you might double up and, you know, twice as many. Once they dry out, you know, when you go to cook them, you got to rehydrate them. But it's another easy way to preserve green beans, preserve your harvest, and just do a little sewing. But it works best on these little wires, these fishing twine. And I've tried the string before, and the string, that when you go to pull the beans off of it, they get stuck on the string, I guess when during the drying process, and you got to pull a little bit, and then sometimes you got to cut the string a little bit. These here, you can take them, just slide them off. You know, I'll snip the end of this right here and they'll just slide right off because that fishing twine is slick. And but pretty cool. Another neat way of, you know, preserving your harvest. I've got another set started down there on that hook. I'm in my garage and I have been canning like a madman every chance I get. And normally my garage is not this messy. Lord no. I usually park my little vehicle in here, but because I have been working doubles and trying to can and preserve everything, the kitchen area down here is a little messy. But it was a good pick. And this bucket here, or this pan, was about right here, full of beans. I've still got a little bit left in the bottom now, so I probably got enough to do maybe 2-3 more of these strands, and call it a night and go to bed. So all right, just a little bean video. Well, I've been doing a lot of bean videos, but it's a cool, easy way to preserve your green beans by letting them dry out. And they have their own unique flavor to them. It does something to them. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but they have a delicious taste. So give us a try if you haven't tried it. You know, you don't have to do them all, but do you a strand or 2 and see if you like them that way. So, all right, who's your gardener here? Lord bless. Have a good day.